Good morning. Good afternoon. I had to stop saying good morning for these. Not everybody listens in the morning. But it is morning for me. It is Friday. Gotta love a good Friday. We are headed into work. And this is another episode of Gearing Up. This is the podcast where we talk about everyday carry and life and what's going on, and my car's dinging at me because I'm being a bad driver and not putting my seatbelt on right away. Safety first. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed this series so far. I've enjoyed doing them. I'm going to continue doing them. I've actually got a couple topics today. I'm going to start off with knife sharpeners. I'm also eating a bacon croissant, so you got to deal with that. But Daddy's hungry, so it's time to eat. So somebody, I posted, hey, what do you guys want to hear about? And I talked about sharpeners and different sharpening systems, and I thought this was great because really, I'm not an expert. I'm not even close, but I have learned how to sharpen, and using a guided sharpening system. I won't lie and act like I'm doing this all, whetstone by hand, determining the angles and all that jazz. No. But I did want to give a perspective of kind of a super beginner to someone that's a little bit more understanding of how, at least how the process works, and kind of some do's and don'ts. And so I started off with, when I first started working on blades and all that, I needed a sharpener because I didn't sharpen my knives at all because, I cut tape with them. So I almost never needed to put a fresh edge on them. So whatever. But then I started working on them, and, hey, when you acid, stone wash and all of that, sometimes you got to touch up the edge. So I bought a Lansky, and I got the Lansky at Academy, of all places. And the reason I got it at Academy, number one, I'm impatient and I wanted it right away because, millennials. And number two, Academy has a great price match policy, so I was able to go in. They actually price match Amazon. If it's shipped and sold by Amazon, it can't be some random Bob's Knife Outfitter third party, But it was cheaper than Academy. So what Academy does is they match it, and then they take off an additional 10%. So I got it even cheaper than what Amazon had it for. And right out of the gate, it was a really good introductory sharpening system. I definitely, flubbed up a few blades, just trying to find that rhythm and that, this is how it should be. And out of the gate, the Lansky comes with, I think, 5 stones, from a really coarse one all the way up to like a ceramic, kind of finishing stone. And it comes with a clamp. And the clamp uses tension to keep the blade in place. By the way, mask off your blade, for the love of God. Mask it off, because that clamp will ruin your life if you don't. But you set the angle. It's pretty, what's the word? It's pretty basic in terms of how you set everything, and it's not the most accurate, but honestly, for what most people need, it's fine. And you're not doing a ton of reprofiling. You're not putting new bevels on. Usually it's just cleaning up the edge. If there's a little roll or a little tiny chip, you can shave it out pretty easily with one of their more coarse stones. But it definitely taught me like the basics on what to expect, what it should feel like, what, all of that stuff. And I will say I got a huge upgrade when actually got in on a raffle for one. Some guy had upgraded him. Didn't need it, so I can't even remember who it was. But it was the Lansky system plus the stand and the leather strap and a couple other stones. And the two biggest differentiators were the stand and the leather strap. The stand was amazing because it made the whole process just a little more comfortable. And so it didn't seem like such a chore. So I was able to spend more time honing in on that edge and really just making it look great. And then the leather strap attachment was awesome because it really polished off the edges. So I mean, I was getting close to mirror finishes on a Lansky, $30 sharpening system. Obviously, the stand and the leather strap are some additional costs, but for what it cost, I mean, it really did a good job, and that's what I used for a while. And so I would encourage anybody that's got an itch to find a sharpener or jump into that. Try out the Lansky. I mean, you're not out an exorbitant amount of money. I mean, it's pretty affordable, and for what it is, it does a good job. The stand is like $9 on Amazon. Get the stand too. You're going to want the stand. And I actually had mine mounted when I received it. It was mounted on like a square piece of plywood. I mean, it was like, I don't know, it was probably 8x8, maybe a little smaller, maybe 6x6. But it just gave the base that much more stability. So I highly recommend get the base, and check out the Lansky. I mean, for what it is, it's awesome. Eventually, you're going to want to upgrade because you want something that performs better or something that's a little easier. And so then you're going to start looking at other guided systems. The two big ones that come up a lot are the Wicked Edge and the KME. And I did a bunch of looking around, and I knew a few people that had a KME, and so I talked to them about it. I did my research. The Wicked Edge is great. I mean, it does an awesome job. It's just such a high price point to get into it, even like the most basic system. And you're not, for the most part, you're not going to want the Wicked Edge and the 4 or 5 stones it comes with. You're going to want more than that. You're going to want, those micron polishes and, strops and stuff that are going to get it to that super fine, precise mirrored edge. And I forget what the cost was going to be. Oh my god, I'm just stuff in my face. Sorry. I forget what the cost was going to be, but it was something like, I don't know, $600 or $700 to get the Wicked Edge, the stand or the base or whatever they call it, the stones it came with, the upgraded stones, some of the coarser stuff. I mean, it was going to be something ridiculous. And while I think it does an incredible job, I just couldn't justify that for the amount of times I use it, and it wasn't for me. So I decided to go with a KME, and I found it on Amazon. It was cheaper on Amazon with free shipping, and I was going to get it in like a day or two than it was even direct from KME, I believe, which it's sold by KME on Amazon, so I don't know how that works, but ordered it and got the kit with the base and all of that stuff, and I don't even remember what it cost. It was under $200, and now I've got the kangaroo leather strap attachment, whatever it is, and I need to get some of the coarse stones. But the thing is to go get like the 50 grit super coarse stone, it's like $20. It's not $120. So I feel a lot less anxious about purchasing other stones. And the KME is nice. I mean, for what it is, it's great. The system, once it's mounted in there and you kind of get used to that, you get used to how the clamps work, then it's awesome, because you mount the knife in, you set the edge, and then you just flip it over. I mean, and it works. It works really well for that. And I've been able to get some really, really nice edges out of it. And I finish everything with a strop. So the KME has my vote. Again, it's really just for cost. I think if money is no object, I'd love to check out a Wicked Edge. But I'm not I'm not sad because I didn't get one. I'm happy with the KME. It's done a great job for me. So if you're in need of a decent sharpener, I'd start off with something like a Lansky. And there are plenty of others. I've not... I know Spyderco has like the Sharp Maker. I think is that Spyderco? I can't remember. They have one, and then I know the Work Sharp is another one. I don't know anything about those, so I don't want to speak on them, but I'm sure they're great in their own right. I'm just, from personal experience, the Lansky was great to learn on, and I think that really helped me already kind of have a feel for the KME, because they are kind of similar in their design and purpose. So definitely recommend checking the Lansky and the KME out. Now, as far as finishing, like I said, I have the strop on my KME, and there are all kinds of like lapping films and different to do super mirror polished edges. I don't have that, mostly because I just don't care for mirrored edges. They get too dirty too quick. But I do finish everything with a strop, and I can't recommend a good strop highly enough. I mean, it's one of those things that it's night and day. I don't know the mechanics behind it. I don't quite understand how. My brain hurts thinking about it. But I will tell you that the strop is a great finishing tool, and it's great for touching up in between, proper sharpenings. I use the Knives Plus strop. Yeah. I know a few people have mentioned it in their stories. Daddy-O EDC, he's the one that recommended it to me, Mason. And then I know Tom, Notorious EDC, just posted about it like a week or two ago. I think it was like $20, and it's super well made, it's super clean, and man, it just, if you get a good edge on a knife and then you finish it off with that strop, it is just screaming sharp. So highly recommend a good strop. The strop attachments are great, but I think again, a more traditional strop just works better in my opinion. Again, that's me saying I don't use any of like the micron pastes or lapping films or anything super intense, so maybe the attachments work better. I'm just an idiot and don't know that, but I'll tell you that strop on the block of wood from Knives Plus, I mean, it's great. So highly recommend checking them out. Those guys have always been super cool to me. So if you're looking for a strop, that's where I'd go. And really, I mean, that's kind of my 2 cents on sharpeners. I hope that that's even remotely entertaining. One other comment I got in terms of like, hey, what should I talk about? And I wanted to hit on this because I don't think I can talk for a whole 25 minutes on it. Was something along the lines of these Raffle accounts that are very clearly like gouging the market and flipping a knife for 3 times what it's worth. So I this is a great kind of sidebar to the last episode where I talked about the secondary market. You know, on one hand, it sucks. It sucks seeing a knife that you're really after get sold out, and then all of a sudden these raffle accounts have them and they're flipping them for, 300% markup, and they'll justify it. Well, it's a $300 knife, but you're getting it for $30. Like, yeah, but you're charging that to 30 people. Like, that's not how that works. Like, anyways, yeah, so that's frustrating. Yes, it is very frustrating. That being said, I don't have a problem with most raffle accounts. I wish they'd stop using like the knife sale hashtag, because I'm like, oh, cool, and then I tap on it and it's a raffle. Crap. But whatever, I get it. It is technically still a knife sale. But listen, there are some accounts that raffle for a couple bucks profit. They're really not doing it to get rich. They're really just doing it because it's fun and it's a good way to give back or whatever. I know EDC on the cheap, that account, I absolutely love that. I mean, if I can get in on a raffle for $6, like, that's fun. I think once you get into those higher price points, it just kind of takes the fun out for me. So, do I, no, I don't think we should shut them all down. It's fine. People are going to do what they're going to do. Now, listen, with the way the market is, if I've got a $300 knife and I can't move it to save my life, but I can raffle it off for, $30 a spot for 10 spots, absolutely. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Now, if I take that same knife that I was asking $300 for and I raffle it off for $30 a spot for 30 spots, we've got a problem. Like, that's not cool. So, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want with their money, and some people have more money than sense, unfortunately, and you just got to live with that. But no, I think the guys that are doing it for a few bucks profit and just doing it because they like doing it, like, that's fine. But if you're flipping knives for 2 to 3 times what they should be selling for, I mean, that's just a dick move. Don't do that. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on it. I think long term, listen, is a $50 raffle for a CRKT pillar going to rip the bottom out from under? No. But what I think really sucks is you had these people that were raffling off Norseman's for $2,000, or they're raffling off Chavez for $2,000, and the market kind of falls out from underneath them. I don't know what Chavez's are running now, because there's so freaking many different, there's the Riot Productions and the Mid-Techs, so that's a whole different story. But like, I remember when Norseman's were $1,500-$1,800 all day, and now people can't move them for $800. And I think a lot of that has to do with raffling them off. And maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm wrong, but if you agree, let me know. And the reason I say that is, you were raffling this knife off for even $1,500 on a bad day, and you did that so many times, and you had these people that threw $40 at it and paid $40 for a $1,500 knife, and they just want to sell it because so they sell it for, I don't know, $1,000. So now the perceived value of a $1,500 knife becomes either $40 because I want it for $40, or $1,000, and you've shaved off all of that value. And I think if that happens over, I'm not an economist, I'm not, I don't know for sure, but to me, if that just happens over and over and over again, there's no way that's good for the market. And then you've got the maker trying to charge what they've charged, And I don't know what Norseman's were new. I still don't. But, I mean, imagine being a maker charging $1,000 for a knife. And then on the secondary, your knives are pulling $1,500. Well, that's really cool. But because they've been raffled and bottomed out so freaking much, now they're worth $800. Well, who the hell's going to want to buy one straight from the factory for $1,000? I'll just wait. I'll wait until somebody scores one on a raffle that doesn't want it, and I'll get it on the secondary for $800. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And at least that's my perspective. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But I feel like that's what we've seen and I'm picking on Grimsmo and the Norseman, but, you know, that's what I think is happening, is we are eroding the value for that kind of stuff. And again, I just mean the high dollar stuff. Like I said, this isn't going to happen on $50 and $80 knife raffles. You know, Chris Reeves Sabenza for $27 a spot isn't ridiculous. You know, but again, if we continue, I'm just going to wait until I can score one on the secondary. I know that John only bought one spot, so he's got $40 into this knife. Let me offer him $300, and, you know, I'm happy, he's happy, all that, blah, 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 blah. And then you're left with the issue of stuff getting, you know, raffled off and eroding out the bottom end. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's even close to accurate. Do you guys agree? Do you think, you know, hey, I've seen that same thing? Or do you think that I'm just rambling and stupid? Because that's definitely a possibility. But anyways, I'm here at work. I am going in. I'm going to drink my coffee, and I'm going to get to it. I hope you guys have an awesome Friday. Hope you have an awesome weekend whenever you're listening to this. Thank you again for the continued support. Be sure to review. Leave us a review. Don't just tap the stars. Say, hey man, the show is great. If you can, we appreciate it. If not, I understand. Share it with your friends. Share it on your story. Talk about it. Share it. Tell people you're listening, because it really does help. So thank you guys again. I look forward to talking to you real soon. Have a great weekend, and talk to you in the next one. Peace.